Hey all, it's Joe at Reds here. Hey, we're going to take a minute to share with you some essentials for getting started in fly tying. Okay, fly tying is such a cool and emotional attachment to the sport. I spent years tying flies where I'll tie them in the morning and fish them that same afternoon, but I think what's so cool about you guys tying flies is you can tie flies on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday during the week and fish that same weekend. So maybe you have some tying materials, maybe you've been gifted some or given some or passed down from your grandfather. Let me walk you through what we consider the essential tools for fly tying and why you need them. So more so than just these kits that I'll try to sell you here, we're going to talk about why you need each tool. And hopefully we can help you realize that fly tying is something for you. And maybe if you already have some materials and tools you haven't used in a while, you can go back and take a look at those and just see if you have everything that you need. And then the actual ingredients for flies are obviously going to be very dependent on what you're tying and what you're going after. First and foremost, the core is going to be a vise. I don't care what type of vise you tie on. If you're tying a lot, you're probably going to wind up with a very, very nice vise. This is the Renzetti Apprentice vise on a pedestal. Pedestals are nice, so you can move it from one room to the other. You can move it around your desk. You can put it under the light if you need to. Move it further away from you. I love tying on a pedestal vise just because of the mobility for it. Whatever vise you have or you get started with, just stick with it, and eventually you might find that there's a reason that we have nicer vises. As far as tools go, there are a couple of different kits here. I'm just going to open up kind of the mid-grade kit. This is the Core Essentials Core Fly Tying Kit here. And I'm just going to show you what tools that we consider essential. And like I said, go audit what you have. I think there are a lot of people out there with a box or a tote full of fly tying tools in their garage, and they gave up. Go get them out. First is going to be scissors, just general purpose scissors. Do not cut wire or lead with your good scissors. Do not cut any tough stuff. Keep them sharp. A straight pair of general scissors are going to be probably the number one tool that you use most in addition to your vise. So good scissors are really critical. Don't just use your ladies' sewing scissors. Get a good set of razor sharp fly tying scissors. The more you spend, the more you get. But I think designating scissors to certain jobs, like cutting wire, use a crummy old set of scissors for cutting wire and mark them with something, and don't get tempted to use your good scissors for cutting tough stuff because you need to keep them sharp. The next most essential piece of gear is going to be a bobbin. So your thread's going to go in there. If you know anything about fly tying, which I'm sure you do, this is your bobbin. The thread goes through there. This is what I tie with. You need a minimum of one bobbin to get started. The more you spend, the more you get with bobbins. You don't need anything super fancy getting started. Any of the bobbins that come in these Umpqua kits are going to be excellent. I really recommend, if you're really going to try to get productive, that you get at least 2 or 3 bobbins so that you can have different thread colors and different types on different bobbins. And that way you're not having to re-thread a bobbin partway through a fly that might require possibly a bright colored floss or something partway through the fly, and then you switch to like a black thread to finish it up. Just switching bobbins is the way to go. The next thing, in no particular order, is going to be a whip finisher. I'm not going to do a video today demonstrating how to use a whip finisher. There's 8 billion of them on the web. You can whip finish with your fingers. It's probably about 50-50 for experienced tyers, and people whip finish with their fingers or their tools. I much prefer a tool because I feel like I can just get that knot tighter, and I can do it really quickly, and it finishes off a fly really, really nicely. But there's your whip finisher tool. For the cost that it is, it's really going to speed you up and really help you tie nice bugs. You're going to tie some elk hair caddis, you're going to tie some stimulators, all sorts of different hair wing style bugs or hair in general. How do the professional tyers get those perfect elk hair wings to be so well aligned? They do it with a hair stacker. Hair goes in there, tap, tap, tap. I don't know if you can see that on the table or not. That makes sure all the fine ends of the deer hair or the elk hair are perfectly lined up, or bear hair, or whatever you happen to be using. A hair stacker is going to help you tie nice, tidy little dry flies or big dry flies. Maybe you're tying stone flies, and etc. Now, this is a tool that I should be using more that I'm not really using very often. So when it comes to threading a bobbin, that can be one of the most infuriating exercises in fly tying. Getting the thread to go through that tiny little hole on the bobbin, you'll just have to imagine with me, is very difficult. Now you could try sucking the thread through, kind of getting it started and sucking it through, which is what I do. It's a big pain in the neck and it doesn't often work, especially with your larger diameter threads or any floss that might be frayed. With this bobbin threader, I can take those wires, shove it in there, shove my thread, boom, I'm threaded and ready to go, and I'm being efficient, but that bobbin threader is going to save you a lot of frustration right there. Okay, there are two more tools that we would consider just essentials, and the next one is going to be a bodkin. Responsible use of cement and glue. Very, very important. Use it wisely, people. Super glue or any type of adhesive can ruin a great fly really quickly because pretty soon you got a leg tied or glued to the body or two legs glued together. It's very, very important when it comes to any variety of cement you use, whether it's UV or super glue or traditional head cement. The bodkin is used for dipping in that adhesive and then strategically putting it within the fly. And that could be partway through a fly to add durability to the interior of the bug, or it can be getting a nice finished head, or even tying like Perdigon style bugs where I need to put a drop of some type of adhesive or epoxy in a strategic spot on the back or the bead. And then the last tool that is in the core kit here, and you can just like hop over to the website. There's a lot of tools in these different kits, and depending on your commitment level, your spend level, one kit might be better than another. But the next one is going to be a hackle plier. And, you know, hackle is essentially a feather. There's a bazillion different types of hackles that we might tie a woolly bugger with a saddle hackle, which would be a large hackle for a streamer. It could be for a teeny tiny dry fly or an elk-hair caddis where we palmer hackle around the body and it makes that nice fan of feathers. But the hackle plier is going to be essential for being very articulate and doing a good job at handling that hackle because your fat thumb and forefinger are not going to do the best job possible. So that's a hackle plier right there. There are lots of other tools like dubbing spinners and other things that are available that as you go down your fly tying journey that you may want to pick up. In that case, there's the Master Fly Tying Kit. It's 125 bucks from Umpqua, and it's a great value. Comes neat and tidy in one of these cases, but there's also just a really basic 7-piece kit as well. So my suggestion is, like, if you have tools that were given to you at some point that you've inherited, they're probably still very relevant. There hasn't been a lot of technological advancements in fly tying tools. Audit what you've got, tie with that stuff, get it out of the closet, the garage, the attic, or wherever it is, and then figure out which tools are working well for you and then start to replace those. Or if you're starting from scratch, you're looking for a great gift idea, any of these kits that we talked about here today would be a really great starter kit when paired with a vise right there. And then, as I said, you know, materials are going to be, or ingredients for each pattern are going to be subject to the user, but the tools are very universal from fly to fly, whether it's a tiny dry fly or a nymph or a large streamer. The toolkit is essentially going to be the same. So all of this is available at Red's. As you know, we got free shipping on orders, 75 bucks or more, and there's links to all of these kits either in the video description or within the video itself.